home, which was down in Stanfields, up Chapel Lane, up to the Tabernacle, along Tabernacle Walk, then down through the alleyway into Rodborough.
The alleyway?
The alleyway goes from near the cattle grid, between the houses, and comes out opposite the pavilion.
Oh, so what? The sort of Bowling Green, or
where the pavilion is, where the Rodborough Council.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Into there. Yes.
Yeah.
We used to go down through there, and then down through the fields, and shop in Stroud, and then perhaps walk back along the canal.
Yeah.
Up Rodborough Hill, and then down. Where do we go? Up to Rodborough Church.
Yeah.
Across the road, over the stile, and down what they called the plough field, and into King's Court Lane again.
So that's called the plough field?
The plough field,
yes.
I
remember that.
Yeah,
over the stile, with the stone.
The big stone stile is, yes.
Field. So even though it's pasture...
Yes, it was called the plough field because it was ploughed every year.
Right. Oh.
And then we used to walk that way to Rodborough School, of course, along King's Court Lane, up the plough field, over to the church, and then down the alleyway behind Rodborough Church, along Middle Spillman's, and out to Rodborough School.
Barbara, I have enjoyed every second of this, and you have a wonderful way with words, and as I say, you've used a rich palette to paint a beautiful picture of times gone by, and you convinced me that certainly for children those days must have been happier than they are now.
I think they were. But this is still what I would call a very safe area. I mean, the children aren't really allowed to be free like we were, but I think it is a safe area.
It's a wonderful
place. Not much crime in this area at all, if any.
It's a wonderful place to live,
yes.
And I'm hoping that this project and stories such as yours will also make the community stronger through younger people and all of us. Becoming more acquainted with times that have gone by.
I hope so, yes. It would be lovely to feel that children were free again.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Brilliant.
I was a bit nervous, but it was the farmhouse, and then there was another Cotswold stone wall.
Right, Barbara, we're going to add a postscript, and that's about, was it Mr. Walters' farm?
Mr. Walters' farm.
Yeah, over to you then, please, Barbara. About the cowshed and so on, yeah.
Well, opposite James's farm, Mr. Walters' cowshed went along the left-hand side of the road as you come from Walkley Hill. The right-hand side of the road, sorry, as you come from Walkley Hill. And it was a long red brick building. And the cows were down below the road level. And this red wall had large pipes in it, which let the air and the fumes out from the cowshed. Well, as children, they were just about our height. So we used to jump up and shout a moo down through these holes. And the farmer would come running out and say we were frightening his cows. And we got to know Mr. Walters very well. In fact, I spent a lot of time down on the two farms as a child.
Thank you very much. Right, Barbara, here we go again. And we're walking up from Farmer
Walters' farm.
Walters' farm.
Yes, and at the end of the cattle shed, on the right-hand side also, was the farmhouse where they lived with their two children.
And that was red brick or
and
stone?
That was stone. That was Cotswold stone. And then from the farmhouse all the way up to Chapel Lane was a high Cotswold stone wall with lime trees, a row of lime trees growing above it.
Yeah.
And then during the war we had two Nissen huts there with American soldiers.
Oh, right.
And then I suppose I must have been about 14 or 15.
Oh,
and we used to go and sit on the stile that went over into that field and talk to them.
Right.
And
now George Evans talks of the fact that when he saw GIs and so on with Laura's and Stroud, it was the first time that he'd seen a black face. So did you see any black Americans? And can you remember, did you see black faces for the first time? Any recollection of that?
No, I can't remember any black faces amongst them. No,
right.
No.
Because that must have been a big impact upon the community, seeing...
Oh, it was, yes. Yeah. I mean, we couldn't believe that we could go down and talk to American soldiers, really.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we were at the age when we were allowed to walk down the lane.
And they give you chewing gum and all that? Was
Oh,
that
we did. We had
chewing gum?
chocolate. Yeah, chocolate and chewing gum.
Hershey's bars.
Yes.
And so on. Yeah, so that was a real treat in the Second World War.
And when they left, we had one of the cats because they couldn't take the cats with them.
So Nissen huts. Golly gosh.
Yes.
And that was... tell me again what those were, sorry.
Just over the wall from Walters's farm.
Right. And there's a tank, isn't there? They say there's a tank submerged in the lake at Woodchester Mansion. I wonder if they were involved in that. Who knows?
I don't know, but I know there were searchlights on Selsley Hill opposite. So, of course, the Americans, soldiers would watch these searchlights and things, yes.
And some of them, regretfully, might have lost their lives on
May have done. Yes, they may have done.
You can remember?
Yes.
No.
They were only 15. A small contingent.
Yeah. No, you must have been 5 or 6. Were you born in 38, did you say?
1938.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I wasn't quite as old as that, yes.
So, talking to Gwendolyn Miles about, she remembers walking back from, I think she was teaching at Stroud High, and she remembers the preparations before D-Day, and she was quite mournful because then she pointed at the mantelpiece, which with her picture of her brother who died on the 7th of June 1944, with two remembrance poppies in the photograph. Yes, happy days, but sad days too. Well,
they were happy days, but sad for others, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Because my father was away in the war.
Right.
Yes, he was in Tanganyika.
Oh, yes.
And he taught lorry driving to the natives, and he used to bring home all sorts of presents.
Yeah.
And we had snake skins brought home from Africa, and crocodile bags, which they were allowed to import in those days. Yes.
I've seen the wonderful kind of handwritten telegrams that my sister, who was alive in the Second World War, received from her dad. I don't know if you have any memories of receiving.
No, I don't.
Letters or telegrams.
No. But I remember Mum being so happy when he came home, and then off he went up the road in his uniform waving goodbye, and how sad it was at the time. Yes, because we wouldn't see him again for 2 or 3 years.
But reunited eventually.
Oh yes, they were. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Wow, you.